Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, Chris and Maggie. I'm happy to meet you today.
We're very happy to be here.
How are things from your side? Is it cold? Is it a little bit?
It's not very cold, no, and we've got virtually no snow as well, so it's unusual.
It's quite nice.
Well,
Mm.
really, yeah. I mean, at this period of time, like in Canada, it should be snow everywhere, apart from Vancouver. That part.
Montreal definitely have snow,
Yeah.
but we seem okay just here.
Yes.
Wonderful. So today we will be talking about your second book that we are just launching. So let's maybe make a short story about how we came to launch this new book that we're going to talk about. Because last year we started with the volume 1.
That's right.
And this year, by the end of the year, actually, you told me, oh, well, there is a second volume, but we want to put everything together. So here we go.
And there it is.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah, we're very pleased with the way it came together because we started off wanting to explain this new philosophy to people and get them interested in evolution. So volume 1 is really the sort of philosophy and the basis of the methodology. But then we realized that part of it is being practical, and it's about removing negative blocks to your spiritual growth. And we realized there wasn't enough information on how to do that. So we wrote volume 2, which basically takes you through all the various stages and shows you how to actually get rid of the negative blocks that are stopping you from living the life you're supposed to live.
Yeah.
So we put this in a volume, and we realized that we really need to be put together because you need to know the basis and the theory behind it, and then you need to know the practicality. So that's why we've got this new edition in the 2 volumes.
It's amazing. Yes, Maggie, you were saying something else. And just before, I want to remind our viewers that we have launched together the book Psychic Self-Defense Kit, recently, and they go so well together. I mean, they feel like really belonging together.
Yeah, you should get all 3. They're brilliant books. Yeah.
It's part of the family.
Yes.
Because a large part of thriving in this new vibration is to clear yourself of negativity. And psychic attack is a major part of that. So by separating that out, we've allowed people to come in and tackle their area first. And then if they want to take it further and look at maintaining their energy bodies and other things that can go wrong with your energy system, then thriving in the new vibration is the way to go.
This puts people in control of their life. They don't have to rely on anybody else. They can go through these books, they can see what they need to address, and they can do it. If they get stuck, they can always contact any of us. But instead of people having to run to somebody every 5 minutes, it's there. The information's there. They can use it. And we put it quite simply, I think.
Yes.
And yes, Chris.
I was just going to say, and everything we put into the book has been proven.
Yes. Yeah, we've been through it.
It was a process where the spiritual guides shared something with us. We tried it on each other, found the benefit, and then included it in the book.
Yeah.
There is something also about the new vibration. Maybe we can define what it means for you to thrive in the new vibration. And we specify in the title that it's for health and wellness for life after 2020. So why did you choose that date?
Do you want me to?
You can go for that one.
Okay. The world is changing. We can see it in the outside world, but also in the inside world inside us. And we firmly believe that we are on a path of evolution. And it's not just us that's evolving, it's the world itself is evolving. And part of that evolution is clearing of negativity and negative influences. So to thrive in this new vibration, the earth itself has a different vibration. It's raised its vibrational frequency, and it's bringing duality more to the forefront. We can see things happening in the outside world which really illustrate, the black and white of things. And in 2020, a lot of us were put into isolation, and we had to go inside and find out how that was affecting us and what it meant. And by doing that, we realized that our spiritual side was being neglected. We are all divine beings. So we needed to bring that part back into our life to bring in joy, because it's our choice. We can live in pain and fear, or we can live in joy and happiness. And it is simply our choice. It's on our beliefs, on the way we see the world. And by changing those, you can move into joy and happiness. So we want to share that with our readers and help them move into that place of joy.
Yeah, because that on its own is a higher vibration. If you're in fear and pain, then you're in a low vibration, and it's difficult to get out of that. When you start looking at life differently and just simple things that you're doing to bring joy into your life, it raises your vibration. Just that purely will raise your vibration.
I don't know why I am having this image of the cross, like the Celtic cross or something like that, as if there is the channeling of these teachings, and there is the bridge, as if it's a bridge between the old world and the new world. And the book is about like how to transit from one to another while gaining or getting back the sovereignty that is ours. Yes, we have a lot of tools, we have people that help us, but there is something about sovereignty coming in, and as if it's empowering us to say, you can deal with the energy. It's you are not a victim for what is happening. You have a power to act on it too.
People have to realize they have the power within them, and that really is a beautiful image, because it's exactly what it is. Yeah. You've got the divine information coming through. You're grounding yourself to the earth. So you're getting the earth information, and then you're bridging between the old way of life and the new way of life. So it's a wonderful image. Thank you.
Yeah, and we're moving from the base 3 chakras, which are basically the physical chakras, and we're moving more into the higher chakras, which are the spiritual ones. And as you say, that transition is right there. So as we move forward, we move into that vibration, we change. That helps us to change as well.
There is a big part of your book that I really love that speaks about emotions and the impact of emotions on our template, as you call it, or things like that. And the thought forms also, or you call it the thought forms, right? And
Yes.
impact. So maybe you can say a little bit more about this concept, because it's quite different.
Just before we stop there, I'll put one point in there, as I was saying about moving from the solar plexus up to the heart chakra. We're moving from the love of power to the power of love.
Wow.
Yeah, that is very important. Yeah, and that's the transition there. We're moving into the power of love.
So let me say it again. I really love this sentence. So moving from the love of power to the power of love.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yep, that's where we are.
That's where we are.
And to talk about emotions, we don't realize how powerful our emotions are. And we end up having a lot of trapped emotions in our body. And in some cases, these emotions can be backed by a thought, and they form what we call a thought form, which really it's an energy construct. As I think it explains clearly in our book, we are all energy. And so energy affects us. And we are all part of a universal consciousness. So that if someone is thinking negative thoughts against us and has emotion behind them,
Yes.
then this energy construct gets placed into the energy body of the person. And when it's there, it can basically bring your vibration down, and it attracts illness and disease. So it's very important to release these trapped emotions and release these trapped thought forms. And this is what our book, the second part of our book, tells you exactly how to do.
And the interesting thing is, we don't have to identify the emotion. We don't have to identify the thought form. We just have to see where the thought form is and take that out. So you're not going back into psychological issues, which are going to bring up more trauma. This is very easy to deal with.
Yeah, it changed, and it gets quicker also. It's
It's much quicker, yes.
It's the work, I feel it really the recent years is quicker on the trauma side and so on. We don't even have time to talk about trauma because we have to deal with it now, right now.
Yes.
And get beyond. We don't have, and even I feel sometimes from my work with clients and students, I feel that sometimes it's satisfying to identify ourselves with the trauma and stay in it for a long time.
We bond with grief.
Yes.
And trauma.
There are a lot of benefits to doing that. I mean, you get a lot of attention. People love negativity, and they go, oh yes, come on, tell me all about that. And you repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, but you're not dealing with any of it.
Yeah, there is something, and I wonder if that's something satisfying in that drama we tell ourselves sometimes. Like, there is to be cautious about, to be mindful about. I feel like this book is a transition or a stairs where step by step it awakens us to this aspect, these aspects a bit more.
Actually, you made a good comment. It is awakening. The whole process is slowly awakening yourself to look at things in a different way. And that's an important part of the book.
And it's a very interesting part because it speaks personally to me. I see a lot of things talking about working with ancestors, but there's also like ancestral, bondages and working on that. And I feel like really we got beyond that now. We have to deal with things more quickly and deal with things like a sword, cutting them from the roots so that they don't grow again. And I feel like sometimes, we need to go with the flow, and the flow now is saying things are moving fast, do things quickly. It doesn't mean that rush things, but it means be determined, be solid in what you do.
It's interesting because in the past we've had many lives and we've had many lessons, but in the past things went very slowly. There was a lot of karma, and basically if you learned one lesson in a lifetime, it was good. But things are accelerating now, and it's because the Earth's vibration is raising. It's evolving very quickly, and it wants to bring us with it. And because of that, we're able to release things much, much faster than we could before. We can see what's happening. We're understanding the process more. Quite a bit of our book explains the basic process by which the energy system functions. So, and it's not the conventional energy system that everyone knows about. There's a whole new layer above that, which deals with our life purpose. And we explain this in the book. And by knowing that, you can really accelerate this growth.
Absolutely, yes.
You talk about the grid system and the packages of timeline templates, which is quite new. I mean, you are bringing something really new here. It's in the energy field. And people need to know that now we have the capacity to go to higher levels of understanding our energy, our bodies, and they are open to us. They are available to us. We even our evolution needs to be, I would say, we need to evolve our way of seeing, our way of perceiving, and let's don't close ourselves to the old chakras or the old systems. We are evolving, and that, I feel like, it's one of the big messages you bring in the book too.
Yeah, and as our vibration raises, we see new things. And part of that is this new energy structure that's above the chakras and energy bodies, that it wasn't available to us 10 years ago. And because we've raised our vibration sufficiently, now it is. And we can start to use it for our benefit to help us evolve even faster.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's a completely new system, and it's a very important new system. And it gives us a different perspective of what is happening in our life and why it's happening in our life. Completely different approach.
And there is something I really love, and I'm still reading, going through it, because there is something I need to say about your book, is that it's dense on energy. It's dense on not content. The content is very, very flowy, but I feel it working on me when I read it. And sometimes I have to stop and just absorb and then get back to it, as if it's the energy is really, we feel it. It's a transformative energy. And one of the things you bring is the geometry, the sacred geometry in the energy work, which is also different from what we see and what we have experienced before. Maybe you can tell us more about this.
Yeah, it's well, do you want to?
No, you go.
Okay, I'm on a roll.
You're on a roll.
It's quite fascinating that these higher structures are actually geometric shapes. And the geometric shapes have meaning, and they fit together, and basically the energy and information is held in the geometric shape. So it's important, it's incredible how important these geometric shapes are to our well-being. And a lot of our healing is built around working with geometric shapes. So we can go in and look at part of the structures. We can see that there might be a distortion in some of them, and we can go in there and correct that distortion. We can rebuild the shape. And when we do that, the energy just sort of coalesces and comes back into form again. So it's fascinating how this is all held in that structure. And
the other interesting thing is many people can have the same geometric shapes, but they deal with life differently. And depending how all these shapes fit together, and you get a distortion in one but not in another one, and therefore the flow of energy is completely different. And it's fascinating to watch when different people come in with the same structure but completely different lifestyles and outcomes. So very interesting.
It reminds me of something about, we have the form, we have the sound, we have the geometry shape, we have the color. So we see the different auras and colors and of souls and of humans. And the geometry shape is the next step. And I feel like the step after it would be the sound of the sound of the soul, or the like, not, I don't know how to say, but there is the word, or there is the sound of the soul, not only the song of the soul. And beyond that, there will be just silence, which is the purest form of cow, which we belong to in a way. So I feel like we are getting higher and higher in this.
Yeah. It's an exciting journey.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, there's definitely a layer above the geometric shapes, which is not fully explained yet. So that'll be interesting.
There is something also that one might ask, because we are talking about the geometry shapes, we are talking about the seeing and perceiving and going to modify things. I just remind people also that this book is really complementary. I feel like these two, I mean, this one is bigger, of course, bigger content. It has 2 books in it. But in this book, we talk about the different psychic abilities that one can have. So some of us will see, some will feel, will smell, and we talk about 12, also 12 capacity that we can have. You work also with pendulum to identify the structure of the, you know, like the distortion in the geometric form and so on. Maybe you can explain a little bit more about the different ways of perceiving and taking advantage of the book and the practices that are there.
Do you want to do that?
There are many different ways of, well, I tend to see things. That's my strength. My strength is to see things. And I have built up over the years a working relationship with my guides. So they're very good at coming in and telling me to look for this, look for that. And that gives me a great advantage. On the days when they go completely silent, and I think, oh, I'm on my own, what am I going to do? I will always use the sway test. Because for me, that is one of the easiest things to use. And I find it very, very accurate. But you tend to use the pendulum, don't you?
Yeah, I tend to feel things, and I use the pendulum a lot. One of the key things is in both books, we talk about how you don't need to be what we call psychically gifted to do these techniques. There are ways of getting in touch with your body to know what's happening on an energetic level. And there's a simple method which we teach in the book called the sway test, where you're using just your body to find out what's going on. Some people find they're good with pendulums. Other people, as Maggie says, you have different psychic senses. But it's a question of identifying what you're good at and what works for you. And there isn't a right or wrong, but anybody can use these books.
The thing is, though, I might start off with being very visual, and then suddenly I'll start to hear things. Chris is feeling things, and then suddenly he's got the knowledge just coming straight through. So as we evolve, we're evolving all the time as well. And as we open up, more information comes through, and it helps us to grow, to evolve. And as people start using these books and using the tools in them, they'll find that their knowledge grows and they'll have more access to other things as well.
It feels natural. This is what I felt when I was reading the book, especially the first part. It felt natural. I don't know how to describe it. It felt like right. It felt like logic. I mean, I didn't have to think about it. Actually, it's something I felt. It's something I felt within, something that was right. Or, you know, you feel that alignment when you read a book sometimes, and that's why I felt. So I really, really appreciate this book. And it doesn't come by itself, because you offer a course also to go deeper and practice also with the participants. Maybe you can tell us more about the course that is, I think, coming the 16th of January.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. We developed the course basically to help people integrate the information. There's a lot of information in the book, but the course will take them through by the hand, and we will also be demonstrating various techniques, because it always helps to see someone else doing the technique before you do it yourself.
Yes.
And we'll be working through and demonstrating some things. So it's a good complement. You know, you could never put all of the information in the course, but the course can show you things which are not easily shown in a book. like exactly where to put your hands and what to be thinking of while you're working on someone. So we welcome people to join this course. As you say, it starts on the 16th of January at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll carry on every Sunday for 4 weeks after that at the same time. So,
but also the benefit of the course is you're going through the work and you're seeing how it manifests, but you can also ask questions. So if anything, if you're stuck on anything, you can, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? You can always ask. And that's good for everybody in the course because everybody thinks very differently. So you get a slightly different aspect all the time, which is great.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. There is something really I enjoy the ability for you to work together. I won't say I say it all the time, every video probably, but I really find it amazing because you have like gathering the knowledge of two persons, energy workers. I mean, you are knowledgeable. You have done this work for many years now, and gathering all this in a book or in a course, I find it always very rich. So I just wanted to point out that because
it worked well.
It's been great because initially I was getting a lot of information through and I thought, what am I going to do with it? I can't experiment on clients because that's not fair. And so Chris was very good at volunteering. So if anything went wrong, I was in trouble, but that was okay because we got on very well together. Yeah. But it was immediately I could talk to Chris. Okay, this is coming through. What is your perspective on this? And I had to hear a different perspective. And then I go back to the guys and say, okay, now look, can you help me with this? And then gradually we had a format to work with and we were working on each other and getting results. And as a result of that, we could ask more questions and it kept evolving and evolving and evolving. But it got to the point where the guy said, look, put it in a book, just get this information out because it needs to go beyond you two.
Yes, and I'm so happy that this book is out now. You can find it on Amazon, and I'm gonna put the link on the chat and also below for this video. And I hope to see you soon for another video. Also, I love making videos with you. It's always good to learn, also good to vibrate with people who are transiting with us towards the new vibration. So you can find it on Amazon, Thriving in the New Vibration, a channeled approach to health and wellness for life after 2020. And the other book that is called Psychic Self Kit, a self-defense kit, and it's on Amazon. Also, I will put the link below.
That book goes, as you say, goes very, very well with Thriving, but it gives you another perspective, which Chris and I, we weren't aware of before. And now we're sort of examining that as well. So it's great because we're always growing and evolving. Yeah.
Always learning.
And sharing. And
yes.
That's and the course will be the 16th of January. I will make sure I'll put the link below. Maybe not now as I'm on the video, but just maybe a few minutes after. So I remind you before we finish the course, we finish the video, that I have a Kickstarter campaign to print out the Oracle Be Calm and Oracle Yourself. And it's funded. I'm so happy about it, but we can grow more. That will give us the option to print more things, to give more options. And yeah, I'm impatient to share the new cards. Also, there are new cards coming in by the beginning of the next week. So have a nice day. Thank you, Chris and Maggie.